Let's try. And we are live 11/11/11/12. I'm your host Jedi, and this is Anna.
Hi guys.
So, what are we doing today, love?
I think I'm gonna do some budgeting today, and as we're writing out the strong winds at anchor, and I'm also
Canning meat.
canning meat. I've done this, and I have more on the stove, but this is what we're doing. Yeah, I have to get some budgeting done for our companies, and just trying to stay calm.
It's only like 35 to 40 knot winds at peak. Not a big deal. At least we're not out on the sea where they got like 16, 17-foot waves today.
Yeah, I agree. That's I know when you picked your head out, there was one motorboat was going through the channel. Well, he was not in the channel technically. He was
sliding sideways as he was trying to go forward.
through the channel. He was trying to go through the channel. But the motorboats, they're okay because they're not going to get stuck. That's the sailboats. That's the issue with.
Well, the motorboat, yeah, like they are, usually a 3 to 4 foot draft. But we're far enough down in the channel now that it'll be opening up into the bay here soon. We are anchored in about 9 to 10 feet of water. It gets down to like 8 with the movement of the wave. And I put out at least 100 foot of chain with our oversized anchors. So we are just swinging back and forth through the whole storm last night and everything. It hasn't moved an inch.
Yes.
So
believe it or not, guys, I slept like a baby. It's just when you wake up and you hear the wind and waves clashing against the boat and lots of movement. Very hard to cook.
Yeah, I had to like move.
I was just boiling cans and movement of the boat.
Hot water splashing at you.
Well, it was not splashing, but I was thinking it's gonna splash, but it's not because we have a gimbal, and everything just alive.
You hear all the extra weird noises you don't hear every other time.
Yes. Like a lot of noises.
We wrapped it in plastic, so I think the plastic's like banging down on it from the wind.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a fun adventure. Yes, we're staying safe. We're 52 days till the Freedom Flotilla Festival. And we're only like 1,100 miles now from Key West. So.
Yeah, we made a very good distance. I looked at the map. When you look at the map, the eastern coast, we really made probably a distance like this. And we have like this to go. I was like, wow, we're probably going to be in Florida in maybe in 2 weeks at this pace. If not the storms. The storms. Slow us down a little.
Yeah. And we're sending out, safety first. Mm-hmm. And, it just wears you out trying to move around in those bad storms. And we lucked out. We're on the North River. And it's a very long river, so you wouldn't likely find us.
And it felt very, very long at night when we were driving because we were going through this canal, right? There's 5,000 bridges for some reason Virginia, North Carolina has.
And they even had a great lock that it only dropped you like this far.
Yeah, we didn't even know. So we were stuck in traffic. Motorboats, they have no respect because they have shallow draft. They just go around you, cut you, and there's like big wake and the shallow channels. We have to stay in the channel. And there's like several of them in a row going right next to you. I was like, dude, like, I beg your pardon. I mean, I'm sorry. You gotta wait your turn. No, he doesn't care. They don't care. They just... but I understand why they were in a rush because they were trying to get to the marina that we didn't get a spot because of the storm. So when we were driving through, I called the marina, of course. They said, no, spot's not available. When we were driving through the marina, because this marina the channel is going through the marina, right?
So it's just a giant wall for
just
like
a giant wall on one side.
Feet.
And we see all those boats, power boats, tying to each other. So there's one row tied to the dock and another row tied to the power boat. I was looking at them. I was like, when those winds kick in, I would not like to be tied up to another boat like this. I'm sorry. So we just went on, and I think we were the only one who went on because the last sailboat that was in front of us, they were able to get the spot
at the other marina, and they took the very last spot. So
it was also kind of, we had the business call that slowed us down a little because Jetta is like, you need to go slow. So a lot of boats passed me because I was going slow, and then
so we slowed her from 6 knots down to like 4 knots for like a half hour. So we lost like 20 minutes there.
Yes, and the second slowdown was the sailboat ran the ground, and we were talking on the radio, and there's one guy so what had happened was the powerboat was trying to cut on the
cut the sailboat off, and the sailboat ran aground.
On the right side, right where the channel is, and sailboats, they have a very long keel, so they have to stay in the channel. So the sailboat moved to the left and ran the ground. So this is what powerboats do. But another guy in a powerboat, I was like, bravo. I was like so impressed by him. He actually, we were on the radio, I was like, can you create a wake for the guy? Because the guy is like on the shoal, sitting on the shoal, right? He opened the sails, in hopes that, the movement of the wind get him off the shoal. No, so the powerboat, what's his name? What's the name?
Pronto,
if you're listening, you're a cool dude. I was like praying, and because we were slowed down, because if something happened, we wanted to help as well. I don't know, Jetta was ready to call it my tender or something. I don't know. Crazy things Jetta wanted to do.
Well, I offered, it's like, you can always take your tender over to us in a line, and we like tow you out.
Yeah.
And they're like, my insurance doesn't cover that.
But anyway, so the powerboat, was creating the wake, and he did it several times, back and forth, but still nothing. So they ended up calling the Coast Guard,
and Coast Guard went forwarded to the Towboat US. They weren't sinking or anything else, so we made sure.
Yeah, they were not in immediate danger. So if they were in immediate danger, then the Coast Guard would be going in to save them. But
and if it would have been immediate danger, we would have taken a tender over, or had them bring their tender to us to get them off the boat if they were sinking.
And at that moment I was praying. I was like, oh, please let not us get stuck. Otherwise it would be like 2 sailboats stuck. I was like, oh, please, let's not do this. So
yeah, because the channel at that point was only about 90 feet wide, and like we're a 50-foot boat, so if we turn, like there's not even enough room to really do a U-eye.
I'm like praying to God. I was like, Jetta, please don't turn, because I don't want to get stuck there. And the wind's strong, and it's getting dark, so we're passing through this marina, right? The only sailboat. We're like so brave, going into the storm. Good morning, Dylan. We're going into the storm, right? Into this narrow channels, and if you get out the channel, you stuck because it's 2-3 feet deep. And I was asking Jetta, it's like, so how many miles are we going? It's until that point where there is a safe anchorage for us. We actually tried to anchor at a different spot, but it was too shallow for us. And then there was what you call them, pylons left from a previous dock, but it looked very shallow too because there was a beach next to it, and we didn't go there. So we had a motor,
like an extra 12 miles
in the dark, pitch black.
Yeah, so we
were in the narrow channel.
That was I literally had my charts like zoomed in to where my little gauge is this wide for distance at 100 feet. And, I dim the light down on it so I can still see the waves and stuff around me. And the buoys for your directional, some of them were nice and they have a light on them.
Others don't.
But it was only every third one that had a light.
Yes, others I was I'm looking at
it. And it was a zigzaggy river. So it's
narrow channel, zigzaggy river.
So don't follow the light. Don't go into the light. You won't make it.
Well, yeah, because actually the white lights is showing you that's land. Do not go to the light.
and even when you die and cross over to this world, that's where the archons try and trick you and bring you back in here for reincarnation over and over and over again. Don't go into the light. That's their trick, so they can siphon off the energy from you.
Yeah. So anyway,
it was a fun night, and thank God the anchors held, and you can hear all the different weird rattles of ropes and lines and everything else.
I have no idea what's rattling, but everything should be tied up.
The biggest thing you're hearing rattle is the Bimini Dodger.
What is this on? I still don't know what's rattling.
That was the drum.
We'll find out after the storm what's rattling.
And Dylan says we had one stuck on the reef near Peace Bridge. It was there for over a week.
Oh my God!
Don't know if they got it out or it sank. The longer it was there, it looked like a deteriorated fast.
Wow.
Which is exactly why we were like, we slowed down and made sure everybody was okay, and had Towboat US not already been set to be on their way to get them, we would have done what we could. That's
what I had to do. And Jed is always on the rescue mission. Let's help everyone. I'm like, save us!
Come on, we're a registered Coast Guard vessel, and on the land of the
with a big keel in the shallow channel. Yes. If we're a Coast Guard vehicle, like a vessel, yes, I'm all good to go. Let's go. But honey,
it is what it is, and it's one of those, like, when you're on the sea, you actually have a responsibility to help other people in danger, because we know on the sea, if we don't help each other, we're going to die.
Yeah.
If y'all on land could just get this one thing,
yes.
Like, I really feel bad for New York City, but you earned it. Sawhan, the communist or whatever. Yeah, the asshole boaters were all from the same city in New York.
They're like going like this, 3 of them, and right next to us, and there's like bridge, like pillars in here, and they don't care. They just go. Like, move you out of the way too.
They tried to,
New Yorkers do. Anyway, so yes, what was it, Titty?
So yeah, it's like, look like, you have to help each other, and absolutely. Yeah. And that's why we're doing the Freedom Flotilla, to gather people, because when countries go communist, they go after the farmers first, the most self-reliant people that don't need government because they take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're going to see a lot of crazy stuff happening here next week, next month, because I honestly don't think the government shutdown is going to get back up until next year after Christmas, at best case.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Democrats are intentionally trying to use hunger to spark civil war and all this type of stuff.
Yeah, that's...
You hear a bigger wave hit, and she's moving a little side to side.
Ew, the water's spilling. Now the water's spilling. I'm not by the stove, so it's okay.
Yeah, but it's make sure you stock up on your food, and if you have extra, help your people in the community. This is a great time to show your Christian good faith and generosity.
Get together, as a community, because you got to help one another. If you're just by yourself,
and for the elections, I'm rock on Governor Youngkin. The state of Virginia knows how big the food is, and the state of Virginia has said we will cover the SNAP benefits until the government is back open for the 600,000 people. So the people of Virginia are going to get to eat. Now, I know Ohio, Minnesota, Cali are all doing it intentionally to not help the people. And Trump tried to divert other funds, and the courts got in the way. And that's one of those where I have mixed feelings. And you don't want to give the president more power. He's got too much power already. But we don't want people to starve either.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, Democrats, get off your butts, quit worrying about your radical base, and just open back the government. You only got to get 5 out of like 50 of you to have a conscience. And so far, it's just John Fetterman is the only Democrat in America that has a conscience, that is choosing the people over party. And for this New York City, the election with the Zoran communist that wants to get rid of personal property, go ahead, New York, go ahead. we're talking to my people because we're looking at property in Florida, and the realtors are getting flooded with millionaires saying, hey, we need to start looking for property because if this crazy person gets elected, we need to move before the first of the year. So New York City is about to completely eviscerate its tax base. You're going to have riots, murders, all kinds of other stuff, probably buildings catching on fire. And it's okay. Let it get really, really bad. I not that I want people to die or anything, but let it get really, really bad so nobody ever votes for a Democrat again. And then we developers, after the city is destroyed, can come back in and, you know, buy $100 million skyscraper for less than $1 million. Wonder what that one was.
Yeah. So,
I'll check on that here in a minute.
Yeah, let's finish on the bright note.
But on the bright note,
we're still alive.
They're trying to use the lack of food as a weapon, and it's really sad because there's like 43 million people on food stamps.
Yeah, that's sad. I mean,
that's 1 in 8 people.
That's crazy.
And in poor areas, it can be like 1 in 4. So, and what's really sad is of those, at least a third of them are, well, we'll be generous, say a quarter of them are able-bodied men that can work that just don't want to work. Like that have left the workforce. You did the math. It's like, hey, I'm gonna make 12 an hour, you know, not working, and I only make 15 an hour working my 40 hours a week. So why work? And we just got to get rid of these incentives. Like, you shouldn't have a credit card from the government where you can just go buy whatever you want when you're poor. It needs to go back, like, let's give you your government block of cheese. Let's give you some flour, some rice. Like, it's meant to give you sustenance. You shouldn't be able to buy all the snacks and the lobsters and eat better than the people that are working hard.
Well, now you're talking like communists.
No,
check on that. No, because that's what during the communism, that's what they did. They gave like tickets for a family. Like, okay, one family gets like 2 bags of flour in Soviet times.
Well, hold on. You're talking. You're talking about everybody being that way from the Soviet. Yeah. What I'm talking about is the way the food program used to be. They would just give you food. Like, they didn't give you a credit card that you could buy whatever you want with your EBT.
You gotta check on that shroud. Something is really bad in there. But yeah, so do you want to finish this conversation up?
Yeah. So
the rain is kicking off.
Yeah, we're only dealing with like 40-mile-an-hour guys.
Just 40 miles. Not like 135, right? In Jamaica.
No, Jamaica and our brothers in Jamaica, we're praying for you for our Rastafarian. That was 175, 180 sustained wind with gusts of over 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy with my 40 to 50 in comparison, because we'll get through it just fine without any damage.
Yes, and we got to check what's going on.
Just relax, breathe. Everything's fine. You're just
yes.
Well, that's the government cheese I heard was pretty good, is what Dylan said, and that's Velveeta. Y'all buy it as a premium in the store now. I'm just saying, like, okay, I have been. This is specifically for Ohio, Youngstown and Cleveland. I have met hundreds and maybe even close to 1,000 now of people of certain ethnic varieties that are multi-generational food stamps recipients, and they will sell their food stamps for 50 cents on the dollar because they're getting they got a bunch of kids and they're getting like $3,000 a month in food stamps.
Wait, they sell food stamps?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they sell their food stamps so they can go buy booze, cigarettes, lottery tickets, and drugs.
Okay,
which is why I said,
I have no patience.
Which is why I said, like, we need to actually give them food. It's kind of like the WIC program for mothers. You know, you can get milk, diapers, whatever. It's set things.
Yes.
It's to not be free reign that you get to buy lobster and caviar and all your snacks and everything else. Like, I understand.
Oh, you eat lobster? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Like if you go in the grocery store, and you see the people loaded up with the most expensive, best things there. I will put dollars to donut almost every time they are a food stamp recipient, where the people who have the smaller, just getting a few items, those are people paying out of their own pocket. Like, you're getting to eat better than the people who are actually working and paying for you to eat.
Well, it depends.
And he's saying, no, this is like they're don't get me wrong. We're not talking like the family that's working and, dad gets injured and, you get help for a few months. We're talking the ones who are multi-generational, who figured out how to game the system because their parents were on it, their parents were on it. And it's just, see, say people were using them to buy huge bags of crab legs, things that are $30, $50 a pound instead of just getting base hamburger, things like that. So there's massive
disparities, definitely.
There need to be massive restrictions of what you can get with food stamps. It needs to be none of the processed, the more expensive food. It needs to be see, EBT, food stamps now. And I've seen them driving Mercedes and everything else and being on food stamps in the Cleveland area. And it's ridiculous. It's called suicidal empathy. It's just like what you got going on in Cali, where they care more about the person doing the murdering than the people who get killed. And they just keep laying the criminals back on the street and refusing to enforce law. And they're trying to push it to where Trump has no choice but to declare martial law, so they can claim he's a dictator authoritarian, because they're letting and encouraging, this was the George Soros and Bill Gates and even Warren Buffett and Ford that all paid for these No King rallies to try and instigate civil war.
That's crazy.
And I'm, it's crazy times we're in, not to try and be doom and gloom, but I want you to know what's coming. Like, we get Walmart delivery. Our Walmart delivery person confirmed that Walmart is shutting the doors November 1st to the public.
I'm glad we have a lot of food.
That's why I knew about this ahead of time. That's why we stocked up some extra, because it's not like we're local and can go get stuff. Like, just getting to a grocery store or getting to land even can be quite difficult at times.
Can be.
Depending
where we're at.
Yeah, and we've had times we paid $200-$300 just for a night to dock one night so we can go get provisions and come back. Or do repairs. So it's like, there's be just like the Netflix series Handmaid's Tales. I haven't seen that one, so I'll have to Google that one later and check into it. But I'm going to use a Chinese word for crisis. It's made of two characters: danger and opportunity. So there is danger. You are going to, if this lasts even to November 11th, you're probably going to have 500,000 to 1 million murders across the country.
I hope you're wrong.
Even if 1% of the food stamp people get that violent, I was talking with social workers and they were saying hey, I got 10 kids. There better be money on my EBT card November 1st, because I'm going to go get my groceries and I'm going to bring a posse. And either my card works or I'm still walking out with my groceries. And you already have this section of about 10% of the 10 to 20% of the population that is completely we've been buying them off by paying them with food stamps to keep them from being worse criminals. Not everybody that's on food stamps. I know many good people, especially in the country. We're talking mainly the city folk, the welfare queens, the single mamas that got 4 baby daddies. They're living on HUD. They have a guy in there living with them and changing the guy out. They're all selling drugs and stuff like that, or working under the table so they can still keep the HUD and keep the food stamps.
Well, there's just some of them trying to make the ends meet. There's different types of people. I wouldn't be,
it's the incentives. It's the incentives to do it that create the behavior. We're real estate investors. I invest in real estate. A big part of it is because of the tax benefits. So you have to fix the incentives. Like things like HUD were never meant to be a handout. They were meant to be a hand up, which is why I like the idea of turning it into a 2 to 3 year program max. So like, hey, you have hard times. Let's help you get back on your feet. Not let's make you a ward of the state. And they should also let all the socialists know, because, you know, the good, hardworking Americans already know this. You know, when you become dependent on government for food, they can shut it off. You don't want to be a dependent. Your first responsibility is to not be a burden to others. And then you need to grow your wealth and do what you can so you can then give back. So for the Christians and, you know, just good-natured people, you know, don't try and like go waste all your money and get food for random people. You know your friends, your circle, you're going to know who's struggling within a week. You know, invite them over for dinner and feed their whole family for a night or two. Do what you can without burning your own pocketbook too much. Yeah. You know, give that little helping hand, and that is how we will minimize the riots. We will minimize the murder. The left, the Democrats are trying to weaponize hunger. Let's take that weapon out of their hand by helping as many people as we can.
Yes.
So that's how we end on the note.
Peace.
See you tomorrow.
See you.